Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney and my channel is all about connecting with crystals, learning about their metaphysical benefits, and really just becoming aware of this unique energy that's available to all of us. So thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm so excited because I'm going to be talking about making a crystal grid for enhancing your intuition. You could also say this is like a third eye opening crystal grid. It really does work with our higher up chakras. I know a lot of you love seeing the crystal grids that I make and you would like to see more content. So I'm gonna make a point to try to make more crystal grid videos because I love making them. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. If you are a returning subscriber, I would be so grateful if you liked this video right now to let me know that you're coming back here on my channel. Or if you're super excited to learn about a crystal grid to enhance your intuition, I would love it if you liked this video right now. I'd be so appreciative. It really does help me out. So on my social media, I love to post my monthly crystal grids. I personally like to make a crystal grid every month to help me really call in an energy. If you're brand new to working with crystal grids or you want to learn more about the basics, I have a wonderful video that you'd really enjoy if you're really interested in learning more about making a crystal grid and what they do. So I'll definitely link that for you. I'll have a pop-up card show up and I'll also link it in my description box for you to check out. Really what crystal grids do, what the purpose is, it's really a practice for you to connect with your crystals, call in and focus on an energy that you really want to have your life kind of expand in, and you make your crystal grid and this focus energy just really magnifies your intention. It's one of my favorite spiritual practices that I do. So this crystal grid that I'm going to be sharing with you today, I actually made this grid about a year ago. At the time, I was really looking to call in a lot of spiritual guidance and a stronger spiritual connection, which to me is enhancing my intuition. I feel like when I'm seeking to enhance my intuition, I'm really trying to understand and receive the messages that are coming to me from the universe. You can really choose to enhance your intuition whenever you feel called to. Sometimes we have this kind of instinct inside of us that we are seeking more, something outside of ourselves. And really working with crystals that I'm going to be sharing in this crystal grid really help us tune in so that we can become in flow with the universe to understand those signs, messages, work with our angels, work with our spirit guides, and notice those synchronicities and beautiful magic that unfolds in our life. I promise you, when this grid is active in your home, you're going to feel a shift, and it can honestly happen in your dreams too. You can notice your dreams kind of shift when this grid is active in your home. So now I'm going to switch over, show you the crystal grid that I made, talk about the crystals I used, why I chose them, and really what you can expect from this crystal grid. One thing you may notice about this crystal grid that I'm going to share with you is that it is a free-form, kind of like random style that I kind of created. I personally like to intuitively kind of make my crystal grids. I definitely suggest, if you're a beginner, to start working with a crystal grid board, a pattern, a cloth, anything like that. A sacred geometry pattern is really wonderful for crystal grid work. But since I'm a little artsy and I kind of like to do my own thing, I really like making crystal grids that are just intuitively kind of like getting in my flow state, and I just create them. So this is definitely an example of kind of like a free-form crystal grid that I made. Alrighty, so really the big major element of this crystal grid, what made it so magical for me and for you, is by picking the best center stone possible for enhancing our intuition and really getting in sync with the universe. And for me, it was a clear, obvious choice to work with labradorite. Labradorite as a center stone is my suggestion for you. Labradorite is the gemstone of magic. It has a way of awakening the magic of us and really being able to see and feel the magic unfolding in our lives. Labradorite creates a force field around the aura. It activates our third eye. It really helps with protection and strengthening the energies within us. So it's, in my opinion, one of the best crystals for the center stone for this crystal grid. So now I'd like to briefly talk about the accent stones that I chose to work with in this crystal grid. So clear quartz. Clear quartz is pretty much in all of my crystal grids because I love the amplification element of clear quartz. It really meshes well with any crystal. And when you're setting your intention, having clear quartz to really bring up the energy, to really enhance the energy even more, it's such a beneficial stone to work with when you are making a crystal grid. I believe that I also included some rose quartz. I think I honestly ran out of clear quartz and I had some rose quartz, so I threw it in there. It just added a nice loving energy thrown in to this crystal grid. So you will notice, there's some pinky crystals in there. It's not all clear quartz. There's like a couple rose quartz in there too. And then lastly, the big contender, the other accent stone that was very, very strongly kind of meshing with this energy was amethyst. Amethyst, I feel like, is such a good one to go with for this crystal grid because what amethyst does is it really does open up our crown chakra so that we can receive a spiritual connection. It's kind of like this gateway crystal that helps us connect with the spiritual realm. When you're making your crystal grid, there is definitely a feeling inside that you kind of have when your crystal grid is done. It's kind of like you feel like, okay, I feel like I can't add much more to this. It feels really good to me and I like the way it looks. That's a really big indicator in knowing when your crystal grid is done. Remember to keep your crystal grid in a safe spot in your home where it will be undisturbed. So kind of strategically place your crystal grid so that no animals, kids, or anyone in your life really messes up your crystal grid because we want it to stay active and nice and all perfect. And really for, guidance on how long you should keep your crystal grid active in your home, I really do feel like if you can keep it up for at least a week, maybe 2, that's really ideal. Again, I keep mine active for 30 days. I feel like that's a really good time frame of calling in an energy, seeing it manifest, and feel the effects of your crystal grid. But I totally understand if that's not doable. If you could do a week, that's great, but really, there are no rules. If you just want to keep a crystal grid for 24 hours, do that, whatever works for you. So now I'd love to share with you some magic that transpired in my life during the time of this crystal grid being active in my home. I set this intention to enhance my intuition during my birthday month. And my last birthday I had was a very crazy time in my life when I self-reflect and think about that time. Really, I was calling in a deeper connection to spirit and calling in a lot of guidance. And during this time, also another element that I wanted to mention is I was experimenting with moldavite for the first time in my life. This was during my first 3 months of working with moldavite. I had moldavite with me. I set this crystal grid up for a stronger connection, and man, did I start to feel those effects. Really, when I self-reflect on this month and having this crystal grid active in my home, I feel like this month was honestly a life-changing month for me. A lot of sweet aspects were happening in my life, and I felt like my spiritual practices were deepening. I felt like I had a better understanding of who I was, what I was creating in this world, and how I can make magic in my life. Another element I noticed during this time was having more vivid dreams. I would definitely say when this grid is active in your home, you're gonna get signs and messages in your dreams. I do advise, if you can, however long this crystal grid is active in your home, have a journal next to your bed so that when you wake up, you can record your dreams. It really helps you remember your dreams and helps you kind of decipher the messages that were coming through in the dream world. Things that you can expect from working with this crystal grid, really having it active in your home, is noticing that you are tapping in to your gifts, that your manifestations are happening in divine timing, that the energy and the work that you're putting out into the world is coming back to you, and really seeing your life from a different perspective, really a more magical way of living. Working with these crystals really helps you feel ready to call in those big manifestations. I would say this is definitely an opportunity when you're enhancing your intuition to do some manifestation work. Because of the crystal's way of enhancing our spiritual connection, it is almost like we have this channel of spiritual light really coming through to us, so that when we attempt to manifest in our life, or when we try to tap into what our goals are, what our dreams are, there is so much potent power there, and I really want you guys to work with that energy. I hope that this video has inspired you to maybe make a crystal grid for the very first time, or to make a crystal grid to really enhance your intuition, to work with your magic, to see all the synchronicities and magic that's unfolding in your life, maybe from a different perspective that you may not realize things are working in your favor, but they truly are. I hope that this crystal grid brings you peace, love, and honestly, happiness. Alrighty guys, so that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this crystal gridding video. If you want to suggest maybe a topic or an energy or a crystal that you want to learn more about in like a crystal grid video, definitely put it in the comments. Let me hear your suggestions, what you want to see, what you want to learn about. I am all ears. If you liked today's video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here, I would love it if you subscribed. Come on and check out some of my other videos. Again, thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate you all for watching this video and sitting down with me and talking about crystal gridding. You guys are awesome. I'm wishing you a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next one.